VZ me back with another video. I did stream some of the election yesterday, but it went on to like fucking 2 o'clock. Nala, no, can you shut up? It went on to like 2 o'clock last night. I don't know if he actually got elected yet, but he's on his way to become president, I believe. Let me know how y'all feel about this down in the comment section. I don't know how y'all feel. As mostly a Democrat, almost all Democrat in my comment section. So here's a video of just everybody, not everybody, but most of the people, especially CNN, reacting to him winning, right to the results. So yeah, let's go.
Things we don't know, but obviously the picture here of what we're looking at is starkly clear. We are standing by to hear from Vice President Kamala Harris. Obviously, she did not speak last night. Source now telling us she will deliver her concession speech this afternoon at Howard University. And this will be the first time that we will see from her since she lost to Donald Trump, a night that, of course, she thought would go very differently, that Trump seemed to think could go very differently. Priscilla Alvarez is just outside the Harris campaign headquarters in Washington, D.C. Elena Trine is outside Trump's campaign headquarters this morning. So, Priscilla, first to you, what do you know about just what's gone on in these past few hours in the inner circle of that campaign, where we had all heard their view? They'd been public. They were confident. They thought, David Plouffe said, they thought they could win all 6 or 7 swing states. And yet here we are.
Aaron, I've been talking to allies of the vice president and sources close to the campaign over the course of the morning, including in the early morning hours, and they are in a state of shock and disbelief. Just to give you a sense of some of what I'm hearing, one source telling me that their, quote, stomach is in knots, another telling me that they felt, quote, terrible, and another just describing the mood among campaign officials as, quote, gloomy. And it was Pennsylvania and the results that came in Pennsylvania that was really the nail in the coffin. This source also saying, bluntly, the caveats won. Now, the reason that there is so much shock this morning among those closest to the vice president is because of what was being said privately and publicly by senior Harris campaign officials, essentially projecting optimism and confidence in those final hours leading up to election night, feeling as though they could pull some of those undecided voters to their side. And of course, finger pointing has already begun, because part of this strategy also included bringing in disaffected Republicans who they believed were fatigued by former President Donald Trump, as well as trying to lock in parts of their coalition where there had been waning enthusiasm. But the numbers have shown they just were not able to accomplish that, including in some of those red rural counties that they had banked on peeling off some of those Republican votes. Now, as you mentioned there earlier, the vice president will be speaking at 4 p.m. at her alma mater here at Howard University. She is also expected to call former President Donald Trump ahead of that speech. So certainly, Aaron, a lot of work going on behind the scenes to work on those remarks.
Yeah, absolutely. You can only imagine that phone call, right? You know, he came out just the other day, right? Low IQ, all these things, and to have to pick up the phone and make that call. These are, of course, I think at these moments to remember, human beings. Priscilla, thank you very much. And let's go to the Trump campaign now, where Elena Trine is in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Elena, here's the thing. It appeared from everything the Trump campaign was signaling, the way he was acting himself, he didn't think he would win. Then he came out and won. And he didn't just barely win, he won in a landslide. So how does this adjustment sink in? And what do his next few hours look like?
Well, you're certainly right, Aaron, that, heading into yesterday, Donald Trump's campaign kept saying they were cautiously optimistic, but behind the scenes, there was a lot of uneasiness. They expected the race to be incredibly close, and they were not expecting it to be called as soon as it was. When I talked to some advisors soon after most of the networks, including ours, had called it for Donald Trump, they said that they were obviously excited, but also relieved, again, because they had not anticipated that it was going to come so quickly, particularly those crucial votes in the battleground states. Now, as for today,
I have a question. How do y'all feel how Trump felt back when he said it was like rigged and stuff? You feel like it wasn't fair? You feel like he should have won? Do you think he won it fair and square? I know there's a lot of Democrats. I'm just asking the question. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just asking the question. Do y'all think he won fair and square? Do y'all blame it on people that voted for him? Like, how does that work? Yeah, because it's crazy, man. It's crazy out here nowadays. So let's get it.
day. I'm told Donald Trump is laying low for the most part. We know that he's been taking calls with a series of people who've been congratulating him. One thing to note about that is that we've heard, clearly we've seen foreign leaders publicly reach out and congratulate him over on
Foreign leaders is crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
Him, as have CEOs, and Donald Trump's campaign is very closely tracking who is reaching out and when, because remember, Donald Trump values loyalty at many times above all else, and so this is something that they are watching very closely throughout the course of this day.
Yeah, of course. Even watching the world leaders, so you think about what people said, what they thought, and now what they're saying. How does he manage that? I mean, so much is resting on how he manages that for the whole country and the world. Elena, thank you very much. Wolf.
Aaron, thank you. My team of experts is here with me right now, MJ Lee and Gloria Borger. MJ, you're our senior White House correspondent. I understand you're working your sources, getting some new information. What are you learning?
Yeah, Wolf, obviously there's going to be a lot of soul searching and asking a lot of questions in the coming hours and days about what, if anything, could Democrats and the Harris campaign have done differently. One thing that we are clearly already starting to see take place is finger pointing and the blame game. And a lot of that is going to be directed at President Biden. And this is even coming from some folks inside of the Harris campaign. One senior official I just talked to said Biden will hold a lot of blame for it. And frankly, they said he should. One of the ways in which he is being blamed right now actually just goes back to the simple decision of seeking a second term and re-election in the first place. Remember, back in 2020 when he was running, he had initially said, I plan on being a transition and a bridge president, and of course changed his mind ultimately and said, I'm the only person that can defeat Donald Trump. I have more work to do, and ended up seeking a second term. And then when his performance completely blew up at the CNN debate over the summer, he had no choice, ultimately was forced to get out of the race. And that's why we ended up having this very truncated Kamala Harris campaign.
I absolutely forgot about him stepping down and her coming in. That I really did forget about that quick. Not gonna lie to you. So, but I'm gonna see what she says after the pause. But blaming that on him, I don't know. I feel like Harris and him stood for the same thing. Like they believed in the same thing. But she's just a black woman. People say don't use that excuse. Is literally my excuse. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just saying, bro. Hey, I'm just saying.
In the first place, and Democrats are looking back on all of this and thinking, what about that parallel universe where Joe Biden had not sought a second term and there had been a full Democratic primary contest where the party actually chose whoever they thought was going to be the strongest person to run a full campaign. Again, I think just one of many ways in which Democrats are going to be asking themselves the tough questions. A lot of tough questions are going to be aimed at President Biden.
A lot of tough questions indeed. Gloria, let's talk a little bit about what was going on, some mistakes that may have been made. The Harris campaign focused heavily on abortion rights for women, as you know, focused heavily on the threat to democracy, which they kept referring to. But the CNN exit polling results, which came out overnight, showed that it was the economy, more specifically inflation, that was a decisive issue for voters out there. Nearly 7 in 10 described the economy as not good or poor. 75% said inflation had caused their family hardship in the last year. So was this a miscalculation on the part of the Harris campaign?
Well, look, as MJ was saying, I think that Kamala Harris had this albatross around her neck, and it was Joe Biden. And she had a very difficult job separating herself from Joe Biden. In the exit polls, you see that 80% of Trump supporters say that they were worse off than they were 4 years ago. So the economy was a major issue. She tried to say, look, here are my plans. But I think a pivotal moment was on The View when she couldn't distance herself from Biden and couldn't think of anything that she would have done differently. I mean, this is a moment in this country that one source described to me this morning as a rolling realignment, where you have these disaffected voters who are upset because they're not doing as well as they were doing 4 years ago. And it is not based on race, it is based on class, because Donald Trump has brought in all these new Hispanic voters and black voters, for example, and the Democrats are left being the party of the elite, which they feel has nothing to do with them. And so she had a tough job. And she had to do it in just over 100 days.
The lady has a point, bro.
And, you know, looking back on it, that might almost seem like an impossible task.
Very, very difficult challenge indeed.
Not a lot. That is a difficult challenge, bro. Like coming in out of nowhere, trying to get people to believe in you, vote for you, and Donald Trump's been around for so freaking long, bro. No matter what they speak about, what change they gonna make, y'all, it's just, bro. I'm really not trying to make an excuse. Like he won, it is what it is, bro. We gonna have to adjust on what's going on. But that was a tough task for her, man. So I don't know. I don't know, bro. They blaming this on Biden though. Certain people in her party is blaming this on Biden. Let me know how y'all feel. Is he gonna take the blame for the loss? How do y'all feel about that? Please let me know in that comment section. I'm not giving my opinion on stuff. Well, some of it I am, but I'm asking a lot of questions towards y'all, for y'all. So answer down in the comment section. Don't try to get on my ass. All like, you don't know nothing about politics. I damn sure don't. I'm trying to. So y'all let me know what's going on. Cause Jesus, bro. Can you stop meowing? Okay.
MJ, you're a White House correspondent. We know that Kamala Harris is going to be delivering a speech at her alma mater, Howard University in Washington, D.C. later today. Do we know if she's planning on calling Trump to congratulate him in advance of that speech?
Yeah, as we've reported, that phone call is likely to happen before she actually addresses the public. I mean, remarkable that there was a whole election night party essentially set up at her alma mater in Washington, D.C. last night. She ended up not making that appearance, period. Really reminds you of actually the 2016 Javits Center setup where Hillary Clinton was supposed to appear. Everybody thought that there was going to be a celebration, and ultimately John Podesta ended up coming out to tell the crowd it's time to go home. We can't call this race yet. It is going to be very, very interesting to watch what tone the vice president takes as she publicly concedes.
I think she's probably gonna be professional.
Again, presumably after having done that privately in that phone call to Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump is somebody that the vice president recently referred to as a fascist. She has minced no words when talking about Donald Trump and the threat that she believes he poses to the country. And now here we are, the day after Election Day, and we know that this is the man that is going to return to the White House. So how does she talk to a big segment of the country and the population that is going to be completely devastated by the thought of another 4 years of a Trump presidency?
It's the popular vote as well. I mean, we're not just talking about the Electoral College anymore. It's quite an achievement to win both. That hasn't happened.
Yeah, that is insane,
and
bro.
And so, you know, she
really want both, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say.
That, you know, that
U.S. Senate 52% Republicans.
You have to go back and look at why. And I think it's always a very difficult thing for campaigns to do. But the Democratic Party, writ large, has a lot of thinking to do about what the American public thinks.
And a lot of Senate in your state
She
plays a
referred to
big
Trump
deal,
as a
y'all.
fascist,
Not gonna lie.
We
Who
all
won
know
Georgia?
the way he was talking about her, low IQ and all that kind of stuff as well. So let's see what happens in the course of these next few hours, guys. Thank you very, very much.
Guys, I will stay tuned to see what happens in the next 3 hours. It's gonna be a lot of tweets from Donald Trump. Like they said, she's gonna go to Howard, give a little speech. So we're gonna react to that and post that. What the hell going on? But yeah, y'all let me down in the comment section, y'all. Do y'all think it's Biden's fault that she lost? Is it? Do we not give excuses? We just live with the results. Y'all let me know down in the comment section, y'all. Yeah, crazy times we living in right now, man. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Peace and love, baby. We out.